Today we begin with the topic revolution. The movement of the earth around the sun is called revolution. Coming to the characteristics, first, the earth revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit at an average speed of 29.8 kilometers per second or 100,000 kilometers per hour. Now, why have we used the term average speed? Because the speed of revolution of the earth is not uniform. When it is closer to the sun, it moves faster due to the force of gravity. The duration of revolution is 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 45.51 seconds. Now we have to remember all these figures. Now the length of one solar year is 365 days. The remaining 6 hours adjusted every year, and as a result of that, after every 4 years we have a leap year which consists of 366 days. The next characteristic is that the Earth's axis is always inclined to its orbital plane at an angle of 66.5 degrees, and the direction of revolution of the Earth is always west to east. Coming on to the next topic, effects of revolution. The first effect is the seasonal changes, the changing weather conditions due to differences in the heating of the Earth. Revolution is an annual cycle, so the seasons repeat year after year. Inclination of the axis also affect the seasonal changes. Since the earth is tilted, the seasonal changes are not abrupt. The perihelion and aphelion position of the earth are also because of the revolution of the earth around the sun. To explain this concept, I made this very simple diagram. Now this diagram shows the different positions of the earth. Now let's consider these two positions. Here the earth is farthest from the sun. It's at a distance of 152 million kilometers. This position of the earth when it is farthest from the sun is called the aphelion position. Aphelion comprises of two words, ephe and helion. Ephe means away and helion means sun. And this occurs on 4th July. And coming on to the next position, this is the position when the earth is closest to the sun. The distance between the sun and earth is 147 million kilometers, and it occurs on 3rd January. Now perihelion comprises of two words, peri and helion. Peri means close and helion means sun. So the position of the earth when it is closest to the sun, and it occurs on 3rd January. Now why do these positions occur? Reason being that the earth moves around the sun in an elliptical orbit, and the sun is not in the center of the orbit. It is at one of the foci. Hence the distance between the earth and the sun varies as the earth moves around the sun in an elliptical orbit. Now if you consider here, during the aphelion position of the earth, the north pole is tilted towards the sun and the south pole is tilted away from the sun. So during this time, the northern hemisphere has summer and the southern hemisphere has winter. And during the perihelion position, that is on 3rd January, the north pole is tilted away from the sun and the south pole is tilted towards the sun. So the northern hemisphere has winter and the southern hemisphere has summer. Moving on to the next effect of the revolution. The next effect is creation of heat zones. Due to the spherical shape and different movements, there is a difference in the angle at which the sun's rays fall on the earth, and because of which there is creation of heat zones. At the equator, the sun rays are vertical, so the temperatures are high, and at places away from the equator near the poles, the temperatures are low because of the slanting rays of the sun. Now this is all about the Effects of revolution. So today we are going to discuss the topic cycle of seasons due to revolution. Now here we look at the different positions of the earth around the sun. As you can see that the earth moves around the sun in an elliptical orbit. So first we take the position of the earth on June 21st, which is called the summer solstice. At this time, the sun rays are vertical at the Tropic of Cancer and the North Pole is tilted towards the sun. So because of this, what happens? That at the equator, the duration of daylight is the same as the duration of night. But at the Tropic of Cancer, the duration of daylight is longer than the duration of night. So this is the time when you have the longest day in the northern hemisphere and the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. At the Arctic Circle, there is complete daylight. That is 24 hours of day. And beyond the Arctic Circle, the duration of day is longer. So it lasts 6 months. And there is diffuse light for a period of 3 months. And at the same time, if you consider the southern hemisphere, at the Tropic of Capricorn, the duration of night is longer than the duration of day. And at the Antarctic Circle, you can see it's in complete darkness. That means you have the duration of night is 24 hours. And beyond that, it is even longer. So this is called the summer solstice. Here the sun is overhead the Tropic of Cancer. And why is it called summer solstice? Summer because it's summer in the northern hemisphere. And sol and stis. Sol refers to the sun and stis here refers to the sun standing still. It appears as if the sun has stood still at the Tropic of Cancer. During the position of the earth on 23rd September, the sun is directly over the equator. And at this time, there is equal day and equal night all over the world. So it is called autumnal equinox because it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere, and the word equinox comes from two words equi and nox. Equi means equal and nox means night. So at this time there is equal day and equal night all over the world. Then during the motion of the earth on December 22nd, the sun rays are vertical over the Tropic of Capricorn. The North Pole is tilted away from the sun. The South Pole is tilted towards the sun. And this is called the winter solstice. So during this time, the sun is overhead the Tropic of Capricorn, and hence the duration of day is longer than the duration of night in the southern hemisphere. At the same time, in the northern hemisphere, the duration of night is longer than the duration of day. And if you see, the Arctic Circle is in complete darkness. That means the night, we have night, the duration of night is more than 24 hours. And in the Antarctic Circle, the duration of daylight is 24 hours. And beyond that, the duration will further increase. So you will have daytime almost diffuse light for a period of 6 months in the southern along the South Pole. Moving on to the next position, on March 21st, the sun is overhead the equator. So it is spring season in the northern hemisphere. It's called spring equinox, and there is equal day and equal night everywhere. And after that again begins the next cycle, that is the summer season, and on June 21st again we will have the summer solstice. And one thing here I would like to elaborate is that when the Arctic Circle is completely lit up during the summer solstice, so even at midnight the sun can be seen. So many tourists, they move to Norway during this time to see the phenomena of midnight sun. And the same applies to southern hemisphere during the winter solstice, since the sun does not set. So even at night one can see the sun at night, but because around the South Pole it's very cold out there, and in the Antarctic circles very few people would like to visit that area, so we have less tourists. So this is all about the summer solstice and the winter solstice and the spring equinox and the autumnal equinox.